Okay, so today we got Mike and the Mechanics and the Living Years. Now we got the video here as well. It could get blocked, you never know. But I'm going to watch it, and maybe you can watch it too, instead of looking at my big head. So, Mike and the Mechanics, I've wanted to react to them for a while now, ever since I did a reaction to Squeeze's Tempted. Of course, Paul Carrack sings lead vocals on that, and people said you should react to Mike and the Mechanics. And but finally, I'm here now, and we're doing the Living Years. I mean, I don't know what to expect here, but we're going to get into it. The song is over 5 minutes long, I've been told. It's quite the ballad. So here we go. My gosh. Right away. Shift.
Every generation blames the one before, and all of their frustrations come beating on your door. I know that I'm a prisoner to all my father held so dear. I know that I'm a hostage to all his hopes and fears. I just wish I could have told him in the living years.
Now I get it.
Oh, crumpled bits of paper filled with imperfect thoughts, still to conversations. I'm afraid that's all we've got. You say you just don't see it. He says it's perfect sense. You just can't get agreement in this present tense. We all talk a different language, talking in defense. Say it loud. Say it loud. Between the present and the past, we only sacrifice the future. It's the bitterness that lasts. So don't yield to the fortunes you sometimes see as fate. It may have a new perspective on a different day. And if you don't give up and don't give in, you may just be okay. So say it loud. Say it clear. Oh, say it clear. You can listen as well as you hear, because it's too late. It's too late when we die. Whoa, when we die. To admit we don't see eye to eye. I wasn't there that morning when my father passed away. I didn't get to tell him
So deep.
all the things I had to say. I think I caught his spirit later that same year. I'm sure I heard his echo in my baby's newborn tears. I just wish I could have told him in the living years. So say it loud.
it's gone. Mike and the Mechanics, The Living Years. My goodness gracious, I do got to say, I apologize. My eyes just twitching the whole time. I did take a pause there just to gather my thoughts here, because I do these videos obviously every week, and you talk about the music, talk about the lyrics, whatever. But watching the music video here especially, I'm glad I did, because the setting, the church setting, is so appropriate. I mean, I don't know if there's ever been a more appropriate music video, but the way that Paul Carrack is like the preacher. I mean, the rest of the band are preachers as well, you could say, but Paul is the lead singer anyway, the lead preacher. And how beautiful his voice is, just to go into Paul off the bat, but how beautiful, how sorrowful, how regretful his voice is too, and how at the end of it, it's kind of he accepts it as well. So much passion in his voice, his voice is soaring at different points as well. When he says the word like loud or something like that. And then you have the choir in there as well. I didn't expect the song to be so extravagant. Again, The Living Years, I mean, to me, it almost feels like the name of a television sitcom. So I didn't know what was coming at me here, but it was easy to see right off the bat with the lyrics and the video. But yeah, with his soaring voice, that he's been dubbed as the man with the golden voice, and that's for good reason. Again, I've only heard, I think, 2 songs now that he has sang on, but he just leaves you wanting more, I guess you'd say, in a way, because you want to hear more from him. And it's just, I don't know, he does have a golden voice, and like I said, there's so much regret and sorrow, and at the end of it, acceptance too. He has such a soulful, emotive voice as well, and just love his tone, and just love how easy, clean it is. And I would say that, to go into the music now, more of that, how quintessentially 80s the sounds, I guess I would say, with the keyboards right at the get-go, dramatic, percolating as well, I would say, because right at the get-go, I mean, maybe 20-25 seconds in, as my eye continues to twitch, my god, but like 20 or 25 seconds in, there's a bit of a shift, and the keyboards get a little bit more percolating. There are more than just one keyboard on the track, of course, but yeah, you have that dramatic, cinematic feel that never really goes away, but you switch it up a little bit, and the percolating, as I mentioned, keyboard, synths, whatever, it kind of gives a bit of a different vibe, I guess you want to say, a little bit of hope there in a way, just maybe, I don't know, only because the percolating keyboards gives me a bit of a happy feel. But either way, and then you go into the echoing guitar work, the solid drum work there as well, quick drum work too at different points when it would point to them. And but at the same point, it's just everything that adds up to such a powerful ballad, and such a squeaky clean, as I mentioned there earlier, ballad as well, where it doesn't even get over, I guess you might say, oversaturated either, or too syrupy, or too I don't know what the word is, but I guess syrupy is a word I could use here, but it doesn't lose its significance, I would say. You're talking about significance there. My goodness, as somebody as insignificant there. But yeah, it's just so significant. It just feels so important the whole way through. And not only are all the people singing together, but they have such a strong message. And I just reacted to John Prine's Hello in There yesterday as to do this, and there's kind of a same feel going on here. I mean, we're talking about old people in John Prine's song and how they feel invisible and such and isolated, but in a way there too, there's a little bit of isolation between the father and a son, and how the band came up with this, because if I see the members here, I want to get this right. Mike Rutherford and B.A. Robertson, along with Paul Carrack, who they found out too, all lost their fathers. Well, I do believe B.A. and Mike lost their fathers around the same time, but I don't know if they were young or not, but I do know that Paul's father was young when he died. So they all kind of had that in common, if you want to say that much, and how you talk about things you never said to your dad because now he's gone. And it's just so sad. And I think about how I live with my dad, and I'm saying a lot of the same things I said in yesterday's video, in the John Prine video, but how I live with my dad, and I am lucky to, and I have a good relationship with my father, and how lucky I am to still talk to my dad and say things, I want to say to my dad, because he's still here. And anyway, so it just hits close, I guess, and that's why right off the get-go here, I had to stop and be like, hold the phone. Like, this is just, it's a religious experience too. Obviously they're in a church, but just the way that Paul, I don't know, it's just, he has everybody, he's got the whole world in his hands. He has everybody in his hands here, and how he's just directing things. And it's just, oh my God. And, like I said, no matter what, the whole thing is just such a powerful ballad, and gospel like, I mean, especially reaching the climax there, and how everyone just has a soaring vocal, and it's just so deep and profound. And again, not only musically, but lyrically as well. And you hear some of these lines, and it just hits you, and it just hurts. I wasn't there when my father died, basically, he says at one point. It's just like, oh my God, it's so sad. But it's important to hear too, for people who have gone through that. And holy, I don't know. It's just it just grabs you. And anyway, it's expressive as hell. But yeah, we're gonna talk about the people on the instruments now. Again, I don't know. This song just grabbed me so so hard, and I'm just like trying to reel it back in here and talk about the lyrics and such and the people on it. So here we go. Mike and the Mechanics, of course, the people on this track. There are a lot of additional personnel as well, but Mike Rutherford, of course, is on electric and rhythm guitar and bass guitar. Paul Carrack is on lead vocals. Paul Young on backing vocals, Adrian Lee on keyboards, and Peter Van Hook, love the name, is on drums there. And then to talk about the additional people as well, if you can hear my cat playing on my bed there. Anyway, Sal Galina, I want to say, is on keyboards there. B.A. Robertson on keyboards, Alan Murphy on guitar. I got a lot of keyboard work, and it showed. I mean, my goodness gracious. Alan Murphy, like I said, on guitar. Martin Ditchum, I want to say there, great last name, Ditchum, I agree, is on percussion. Luis Jardim is on percussion. Christopher Neal is on backing vocals. Alan Carvel is on backing vocals and choir. The child and adult studio musicians recorded in NYC studio separately. There you go. And I say all these names and all these people, you know, I take the time to do that because just to show how many people were on this track and how nobody really stepped on anybody's toes, I would say. Not even just mentioning in the choir, but the instruments and how kind of dramatic and, like I said, cinematic that all felt to create such a beautiful ballad. I can't say it enough, I guess, but there you go there. Holy moly. But I also want to mention from the get-go, we're at the get-go with the start there, and again, both songs are from the 80s that I'm about to say here, but what reminded me of the beginning was Praying for Time, I believe, from George Michael. Just that feel and of that synth right at the get-go really captured that. But then again, like I said, the song switched up pretty fast in, and around the 2.5 minute mark, it did get a bit more rocking, but the cinematic feel did not leave. But anyway, I liked, again, how it kind of became a bit more hard-hitting, if you want to say that much, but nonetheless, it was more all about Paul and the voices. It was all about the voices here and the words that he's conveying there. Not only his voice, as I mentioned, but everyone else on the track, too. Just beautiful. Can't say it enough. Oh, okay, so there we go there. I don't know, hopefully that was clear as mud, but either way, this song touched me. My goodness gracious. And I don't know why it's taken me so long to come to Mike and the Mechanics, but here we finally are. Because that voice, the golden voice, it was golden here. With the first verse here, every generation blames the one before. I mean, yeah, I think I said when I heard that, yeah, it's very true. And it's just a continual cycle. My God, my generation will be blamed from the people who come next. I mean, it's going to go on. And all of their frustrations come beating on your door. And I didn't really talk about it, but just to get in here as I do the first verse, of course, Paul's father and BA and Mike's father as well. I believe you would think that they served in the war or they're around there at that time anyway. They had a very different life compared to his son's lives in the 1960s, I would say. Because there is a quote from Paul Carrack when he said, as he talked about, the 60s were obviously a cultural change. Would you believe that? You had the Beatles come in, psychedelic rock was big, the hippie movement, Woodstock, all of this stuff. It was just a very different feel. It was a very different vibe from the generations previously, and that happens through a lot of generations. But you think about those things, and you think about how you and your father might differ, you know, your views might differ, but at the same point, you don't have to hate each other because of that or whatever. Anyway, that kind of thing comes to mind. And maybe when those views differ, you know, talk to your old man as much, or you wish you could have said these things, whatever, before he was gone, and you feel like you have a lot of regret and you have a lot of unspoken words, unfinished business when they go, and you just feel again so regretful about that. So anyway, I just think about that and how the generations are so different here, and what, you know, Paul's dad and Mike and BA's dad saw is so different from what their son saw. And anyway, so I just wanted to mention that too. Anyway, all their frustrations come beating on your door. I know that I'm a prisoner to all my father held so dear. And it's just, it's so honest and it's so real. You know, I'm a prisoner to all my father held so dear. Oh my God. I know I'm a hostage to all his hopes and fears. I just wish that I could have told him in the living years. And like I said, when he said in the living years, I was thinking, what does that really mean? But I mean, I should have known, I guess. But when he was here, basically, I wish I could have told him all this when he was here. I wish I could have said, I love you more. I mean, this kind of stuff comes to mind. And it's just, no matter how, I guess, soaring and beautiful and how many people are on it, whatever, doesn't matter. I mean, the words at the end of the day are just still so poignant, and they're just still so hurtful and painful. Again, just because it's just, you know, people have gone through this. And they wish they could have said more. And oh my God. Anyway, more crumpled bits of paper filled with imperfect thought, my goodness gracious, stilted conversations. I'm afraid that's all we've got. And again, it's just, that's all we've got. You know, I wish I could have said more. I wish I could have told him, again, these things when he was here, but now he's gone. And it's just, that's all I've got. These old conversations that might have been full of arguments and such. And when he says more crumpled bits of paper filled with imperfect thought, I think maybe he's trying to write to his father. Either way, that comes to mind anyway, because you do try to write these things down and just to get it off your chest or whatever, all your feelings, no matter if you're talking about your father or your own personal demons. I don't know. But either way, that's all he's got, because now he actually can't talk to his father because he's dead. And we'll get more into that when he, in that chorus, I do believe. You say you just don't see it. He says it's perfect sense. Again, the difference between the generations, the ages, whatever, the different views or mindsets that these people have. It's perfect sense to his dad, but not to him. You just can't get agreement in the present tense, because he's not here presently. Anyway, we all talk a different language, talking in defense. Again, you feel like you're talking in defense, for what your dad might not like that you do, and what you do that he doesn't like, all these things. And you talk a different language. It was a different language in the 60s compared to when his dad was growing up, maybe in the 30s, 40s, whatever. I mean, my God, especially when pop music just popped off, like as I mentioned there in the 60s. And you got bands coming in like the Beach Boys, Beatles, whatever, the Doors behind me, all these different people. My God, it was a very different world. The fucking British invasion was nuts. The Animals come to mind as well. Holy moly. Rolling Stones, of course. It's just very different to what the previous generation had with guys like Elvis or Buddy Holly, whatever. I mean, it was still rock, but Bill Haley ain't the same as the Rolling Stones, Anyway, but going on. But the chorus now, say it loud, say it clear. And this is, again, when his voice just goes off and it's so sublime and it's so clear and crisp. And I could say the same with the musicians behind him. You can listen as well as you hear. You can listen as well as you hear. Don't only just, I guess, listen, or there's a point there, don't only just listen to it, but also hear what he's saying. If it's too late it's too late when we die. And that's just so blunt, but it's just so real again, to admit that we don't see eye to eye. And, again, you don't see eye to eye with so many different people, but when it's your father or something, unless he was a terrible person, he beat you, I don't know, whatever. But, you still, you're going to regret, if you don't talk to him or if you don't say, I love you, or whatever it is. But anyway, we don't see eye to eye, but now it's too late because you're gone. I can't say anything to you. Then we have the second verse. So we open up a quarrel, we open up with a fight, basically. It's, again, my God, between the present and the past. Again, it's the same as he said earlier there. There's such a difference in what they saw and what his son see. We only sacrifice the future. It's the bitterness that lasts. There's so many times, so many lines that are so, I keep saying poignant, but are just so real. I can't say any other words, but he does it so many different times. And only sacrifice the future. It's the bitterness that lasts. These little quips or whatever that are just everlasting on you and that make you think, like, my God, that's so deep once more. Holy fuck. So don't yield to the fortunes you sometimes see as fate. It may have a new perspective on a different, you may have a different perspective on a different day. And if you don't give up and don't give in, you may just be okay. And I mean, that can go along with just life. Don't give up, don't give in, you may just be okay. I mean, this song, again, is just so it reaches everybody. It's just so easy to listen to as well, or it's easy breezy in its feel and its sound, but it could just reach any kind of audience. Again, that's probably why it's one of the best known tracks. Anyway, we have the chorus once more. I won't say it again because we're already here too long. I mean, my goodness gracious. But yeah, as I mentioned, that chorus, then we have the third verse, and this is where it hits hard again. I wasn't there that morning when my father passed away. It's just like, holy fuck. I didn't get to tell him all the things I had to say. All I have are these arguments and how we didn't agree, the present and the past, and now he's gone, and I wasn't even there when it happened. I think I caught his spirit later that same year. I'm sure I heard his echo in my baby's newborn tears. And now, again, just relating that to his new baby, his new life. I just wish I could have told him in the living years. I wish I could have told him these things in the living years. I mean, that's all that's happening. And then we have the chorus one more time. But like I said, there's a bit of acceptance there at the end, and how maybe he's, as he says there, I think it caught his spirit later that same year. I mean, that's beautiful. But at the same point, I mean, you're just left with a sad feeling, or a sad, especially if you've lost your father, or if you don't see eye to eye with your father. I mean, you're left with just a terrible pit in your stomach, I would think. And that's what I'm feeling right now. And I'm fine with my father. I mean, my God. Oh, but like I said, this was just so much coming at you, so much emotion, so much passion, so many great voices on it as well, and it just takes you away, and it's just one of the most powerful ballads I feel like I've ever heard. And I love the landscape too, just seeing the video at the start here again, as I'm back on YouTube, but just the landscape there, just the beautiful nature, whatever, and but of course you move on into the video where there's the grave and such, and just, I don't know, what they did here with the imagery, what they did here with the music video was just engaging and captivating. So anyway, I guess that's all I'm going to say. I've talked enough, but I can't say it enough. The song just grabbed my attention from the get-go, and just never let me go until the end of it. So 5.5 minutes too. They brought it all and packed a punch in that 5.5 minutes. So thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting. If you're still here, this video is long as hell, but thanks for all the support, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.